Joann's is gone, Michael's done bought the name, and the big five pattern companies have been liquidated. What is going on? Hi, my name is Delay, and I'm a fashion designer who helps inspire you to design and sew your own wardrobe. And the sewing community is in a hustle, a bustle, a tissle, and all of that. What is a tissle? I don't know. So I usually don't do these hot take videos. I don't do current events. And for the most part, it's because my schedule is crazy busy, and doing a video like this out of nowhere in the middle of something will honestly take me away from something else that might be like cleaning my house or taking care of my kids. So there's that. But I decided this video I needed to do because we are in the middle of the pattern series, how to read patterns, how to get comfortable with patterns, and it just fit, like it had to be done. So today I'm going to talk briefly about the Big Five liquidation and what that necessarily means for the sewing community, what that means for me, and how I'm going to press forward, right? Okay. So right now, yesterday, the news came out that the big five companies are being sold to liquidators. Now, I'm not going to pretend and sit here like I know what that means, because in all honesty, I don't. So as far as I know from somebody else's explanation, Aronica, I think that's how you pronounce her name, the rights in the US have just changed, or the people who own it in the US have just changed. Probably printers, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to stop talking because I really don't know. Someone else new owns it, which means there's going to have to be new marketing, new strategies behind it, maybe even new patterns, or maybe even stop the patterns. We don't know right now. We're in limbo. How does that affect me? How does that affect our sewing? How does that affect us sewing for our wardrobe? Honestly, right now, it doesn't have to. My pattern journey, it started in 2005, maybe, when I was 15. And the first sewing pattern I had was a poodle skirt. It was for a Halloween costume. I cut it out. I made the skirt. First interaction. It was great. Since then, I've used patterns, but honestly, probably not as much as anybody else. Let's say this. I've bought more patterns than I've actually used, okay? So I've had a stash of patterns for years, and I just got rid of some of them because I no longer fit this body because I bought them when I was a teenager. So now I probably have maybe 5 to 10 store-bought patterns. Not store-bought. I probably have like 5 to 10 of the big name patterns between paper pattern and PDF patterns. And for the lack of better words, it's probably because to me, they've all been starting to be boxy or not really stylish. Like the paper patterns have become outdated. The style of the paper patterns to me look outdated, or like not on trend or style enough. Like I've seen the attempts of them trying to do younger things or more trendier things, but it's just not hitting right. At least the images on the pattern papers were not hitting right. So I stopped buying them as much. Right now, I'm also just focusing on the foundation of my wardrobe, like a capsule wardrobe type thing. So I don't need all these patterns. I like to call myself a conscious pattern buyer, maybe. So I'm not out here picking up patterns. Now, if I really love it, yes, I'll buy it, but I have never just been a person to buy all the patterns. And that's probably also because I learned how to create my own patterns from draping or from drafting while I was in college. So I don't always feel the need to buy the paper pattern because in my head, it's like, I can do that on my own. Why would I buy that? Do I ever do it on my own? No, but it is what it is. Like how you're like in the store and you're like, I can sew it on my own. I'm not going to buy that. Do you ever sew it on your own? No, but in your head, you know you could do it. So you're not spending the money on it, right? That is my rationalization with these patterns. I've never personally bought a lot, and the liquidation itself, or whatever that means, doesn't necessarily surprise me. Just like Joann's going out of business. We're in a new era. This creative, crafty space, all that, it needs an overhaul. Like it's not your grandma really teaching the younger generation like that bonding. It's different. At least to me, it looks different, right? It's not necessarily a generational thing that's happening right now. It's more of a curiosity thing that's happening. So you have your millennials finding crafts that will be therapeutic, help make it peaceful for them, help make their mind peaceful, help them, just have a creative outlet. And then you have your Gen Z and Gen Alpha doing the DIYs that, I started with, doing the fashion DIYs, and also just finding creative projects to express yourself, to let all your angst out, a calming thing. So I think that's where the creative industry is. And stores, just like in other industries, haven't been able to capitalize off that or hasn't been able to market that to keep them open. So I think Joann's became outdated, especially with all the other things they sell, the other crafting things they sell. They went away from the fabric and the fashion and the design. And I think that's what did them in. The market now needs to figure out how to capture and keep these younger generations, right? Beyond just the DIY. Like, you need them to get some of the technical information too. I think Gen Z and Alpha are like, yeah, let's figure this out, let's go. Whereas we need some structure to that, right? So moving forward, how does this liquidation affect us? I, again, don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I'm on the very, 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 very bottom of this totem pole of this knowledge. I don't partner with anybody. Not that I don't want to. I haven't partnered with anybody. I don't know any of the inside scoop. I'm just here as a regular consumer. I don't think that changes anything for me going forward. Like I said, I've been building patterns for my basic wardrobe, my capsule wardrobe, and honestly, a lot of them has been coming from Vicky Sews because I think they're more on it when it comes to current fashion, more trending patterns, but also timeless patterns. Like, they don't go above and beyond the current trend, so I can buy it now and still feel comfortable wearing that style, some of them, and still feel comfortable wearing that style 5 years, 10 years from now. At least that's how my plan to do it is. So, I mean, I hope maybe for nostalgia that the Liquidator gets them together, the Simplicity, the Vogue, the Butterick, the whatever the other ones are, gets them together and helps bring them into the new generation. Because I mean, I like legacy, I like things to last, but if they don't, they don't, and things go on. Like, you can still do patterns any other way. There's indie patterns that are being bought, which also I think was also in conflict to the big five. You have the indie patterns doing more stylish things. To me, indie patterns are still boxy. They're even more boxy, and that is just like personal style type thing. I don't like a majority of the indie patterns, and that's why I want to create my own. But you also can't get too trendy as far as what I'm hearing. Like, you can't do too much fashionable stuff. So that's probably a bridge I'll cross when I get there. But indie patterns are an option. You can also make your own patterns. You can copy stuff that you already have in your closet. You can draft your own pattern. So there's more options than just buying store-bought patterns. Store-bought patterns or the big five patterns were easier. It was provided, but like, it's not the only option. So I don't think it's going to break the sewing community. It's definitely not. You just have to adjust. Just like Joann's closing, Michael's getting Joann's name. You just have to adjust to what's happening. None of this is going to kill us. We're all going to be fine. Those are my 2 cents of the current liquidation of the big five patterns. We're all in limbo. We don't know what's happening. Do the best you can. And yeah, do you have any thoughts about the liquidation or what might happen with the big five? Do you even care? Like, that is probably important also. Do you care? Does this affect you on the daily? Let me know. Stand off in the comments. Until next time, guys, keep designing your best life. Bye.